Hey everybody, we are in this series on God's promises and I'm loving it. This week we're on the promise of stewardship. So I was actually praying this morning. I was like, Lord, what do you want to impart? And I feel like the Holy Spirit gave me this idea. So I was thinking about the game of Monopoly, and the Holy Spirit reminded me of the position of the banker. And the banker is the one that actually at the beginning of the game gets to hold all the resources. They hold all the money, but their job is to distribute it according to the rule book. So every player in the game gets a certain amount of cash to begin the game with, and the banker has to begin to follow the rules and place the money in the possession of others. And it's actually kind of a cool position. A, you get access to all the money at the very beginning of the game. B, the money that you distribute as the banker actually goes to helping other people, because the other players in the game throughout the game may be able to buy a house or build a house for the first time. I mean, think about that. You get to distribute the resources and somebody else gets blessed. Maybe they're able to do an apartment and multiple people can be blessed by one unique structure. I think it's kind of a cool position, and I think there's a unique parallel to who we are as Christians. And remember some of the points from the sermon, that A, our posture matters, realizing our position. B, God owns it all. And then 3, that we are stewards. So the steward gets to distribute the resources according to the owner. Now, we don't have a rule book like the banker does. We have a love letter from God. God gave us basically his heart and instruction across 66 books, filled with I've highlighted everything in green, filled with easy, simple instruction on what it means to be a good manager and a good steward of the resources that he's entrusted us. So think about this. We have an instruction manual that's filled with love and grace from him. And then the resources that we get to distribute, we don't get them all at once like the banker does. We actually get our distribution piece by piece. As we're faithful with a little, then we can be entrusted with more. And as we're faithful with a little bit more, we can be entrusted with a little bit more. So it's really cool to see how God slowly, over time, based on the abilities that he's entrusted to us, Deuteronomy 8:18 says he gives us the ability to produce wealth. Based on those abilities, he distributes resources to then go and be able not just to bless us and to bless our family, but to actually bless others. Think about when we take time to hear from God, we're not following some rule book. We're building a relationship with the owner. We have the opportunity to distribute not just based on some arbitrary rules like the banker, but to actually say, okay, God, you've given me these resources, you've entrusted me with certain tools and finances. God, what do you want me to do with this? And the heart then is that I, over time, develop a very deep, very real, very tangible relationship with God, where I learn to manage money. But then the really cool thing is I learn to hear God's voice. And over time, I can hear God's voice across a number of different areas across my entire life. So I hope that this encourages you. There's one other really cool kind of synergy between this idea of monopoly and being a good steward. And that is the realization that at the end of the day, when you're playing Monopoly, no matter who wins or loses, it all ends up going back in the box. This is a really important reminder. You can't take anything with you into heaven. The streets are paved with gold. God doesn't need you bringing money in. His desire is A, to build relationship with him throughout your time on this earth, and then B, that you use the unrighteous mammon, you use the physical resources of this world to make for yourselves friends on this earth and have true riches in heaven, which is building relationships with people, drawing people to Christ, ministering to others with the resources entrusted here, so you can have eternal relationships in heaven.